estate grown, but it's just not estate manufactured. So, we never really used that. We should have, while we were making it here, we could have had estate grown a bottle, which is like the ultimate.
It's like super bouge, like next level.
That's right.
People love it.
Yeah, people love that stuff. We on? All right, we're back. Hi, folks.
Hello, everybody. Back by popular demand. My name's Emily Shannon. I'm the wine club manager for Paradise Ridge Winery. Sorry, that went down the wrong tube. And then this is our winemaker, Dan Barwick.
Hi, folks.
So we're going to taste through a couple of these wines, snack on some bits. We're going to start off with our 2019 Vineyard Select Sauvignon Blanc, which is a good starting point because this is your favorite.
I drink plenty of this stuff. 2019, what is it? 19
Vineyard Select?
Vineyard Select.
Doesn't matter,
Delicious.
just Sauvignon Blanc.
I'm so enamored with the wine, I can't get the words out of my mouth. But this wine is designed to be delicious and consumed on its own or with a massive variety of types of food. It really doesn't matter.
I think it's definitely an around-the-clock kind of wine. You can have it breakfast, lunch, or dinner, a little brunch, midnight snack.
Yeah, all of the above.
Literally, this wine can be anytime.
I think that the bottom line is that if you have a bottle of this wine in the fridge, there's always a friend waiting for you.
I actually always keep a bottle in my fridge.
That's the way.
I always have friends.
That's right. That's very, very important. But we grow the grapes themselves, and this wine is really designed in the vineyard to create the complexity and the different flavors that come out in the finished wine. So it's really canopy management,
but we do like a mix of canopy and not, right?
But it all needs managing, and that's what.
And that's why we have you.
That's right.
I mean, you don't see me managing things out there. You're like, this is a grape.
So you're right, but what it really is that the amount of sunlight that the bunches of fruits, which goes through. More herbaceous, more grassy, and tropical and more juicy the fruits are. So we have a combination of all of those. We can create these layers and tapestries of flavors within the finished wine. It's one wine, very clean, very, very simple, but it has all of this background of complexity, which makes it a wine that can be enjoyed with a huge variety of foods. Low in acidity, relatively, I think it's about 12.5%, maybe 13%, which means that you can have a glass or two at lunchtime and feel like you can go back to work. And
sometimes,
but also that natural acidity is what makes it so special with food. So we've got an awesome selection of cheeses and salamis here, and the acidity is going to cut the fat in those meats and make the mouth just in a wonderland, and that's what we kind of want. Simple wine matches a lot of complex foods. I call it the sorbet of wine, Sauvignon and red upon red. You can slow the whole process down and refresh it. Sauvignon Blanc, and this has happened more than once in my journey through the food and wine world.
Yeah.
And it really does help. You need to have that acidity to freshen the palate so it receives those flavors.
Mm-hmm.
And this wine does it every time, whether it be with Cheerios or Chateaubriand, it does the job.
Very reliable.
Yeah.
I had a question. So how many acres do we have of Sauvignon Blanc?
There's just under 5 acres of Sauvignon Blanc, and that yields us just enough to make the wine for ourselves. We get a very, very different tonnage each year based on the season. And the canopy has to be managed differently based on the amount of fruit there is too. So it's really a hands-on, very, very much hands-on for me being in the vineyard to make sure that we catch all of those right angles of sunlight, and the wine is really made in the vineyard, and my boots on the ground in that vineyard is what I love to do. My favorite wine fruit to grow. I love being in the vineyard, the Sauvignon Blanc, and making all those fine adjustments in the canopy. I love making it, although it's one wine, I play around with different yeasts and different temperatures to create more textures and complexity with the finished wine. And then drinking, I think we've already covered that one. So I think we're in good shape.
Yeah. So what makes this our Vineyard Select Sauvignon Blanc? Like, what are you like looking for specifically, like for this wine?
Well, there's an area in the part of the vineyard that has very sandy soil, and those vines produce less fruit, and the berries are smaller and smaller, and the juice that they give us is very, very intense.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really the concentration of that fruit that makes it Vineyard Select for me.
I mean, I just like it regardless. So that's a fun little fact.
Its sister, the Grand View, is not too shabby either.
Mm.
And I guess that a lot of people wouldn't be able to tell the difference. But I can, and that's why it's Vineyard Select.
Yeah. Awesome. Can you pour me some more?
Yes, ma'am. I can, and it has a great opening sound too.
I know. We love an easy screw cap bottle.
So another aspect of this wine is that we keep some of the dissolved carbon dioxide in the wine. Carbon dioxide is produced and creates alcohol flavors, and we try and keep some of that carbon dioxide in the wine to create another layer of texture, and that enhances the mouthfeel. So when you first drink the wine, it's like this little pop of effervescence, but then it disappears very, very quickly, like trying to remember a dream. It's there and it's gone before you can think about it. And it's a very, very fine balance of what's not enough for me and what is too much. We don't want it to be noticeably bubbly, but it's all about texture. The French have a word called pétillance, which describes this exact character in wine. It's in all wines, both red and white, the level of dissolved carbon dioxide. So this is the one for you today, dissolved carbon dioxide, and how that makes the wine feel on the palate, particularly on the entry when you have that first sip of the wine in the glass. And that's what we really want to try and do. Create that little pop and experience.
A little sass.
A little sass.
A little sass.
Yeah. A little sass is always good.
That's why they keep me around, folks.
And me too, I guess.
Yeah, true. I think the two sassiest ones at the whole winery, perhaps. Definitely. Absolutely. Yeah, no, I love this wine. I think we could, spend this entire time really just talking about this wine.
Leave the camera on and just watch us drink it. And
that could be fun. That's a fun game.
Conversation, see where it all goes.
On the floor.
But we have an agenda. And are we ready for the next wine, do you think?
Yeah, I think.
The next wine comes in this glass.
But before we go too far, I think we had a special guest that everybody wanted us to bring on.
This is going to be fun and exciting. This guest also goes very well with Sauvignon Blanc. And...
Oh, come on. You can do it. It's a puppy.
It's a puppy.
You can't really see her, but this is Rowdy. She's the newest addition to the team. She's a little sleepy right now. I'm surprised she's not, dive bombing this amazing charcuterie board. Do you want to hold her?
No, I'll just stroke her. She's so soft. All right. Hold the baby. Smile.
Here, let's see what she thinks of the wine.
Oh, here we go. We're going to definitely
she loves it. She says 10 out of 10.
My kind of dog. She is adorably and so soft you can't imagine. Like cashmere.
Tell us about the other furry friends that we just got back on the property as well. That's kind of some exciting news.
Animals are a big part of Paradise Ridge. And,
huge part.
And outside of the way that we manage the estate, which is organic, creating a biodiversity of the natural beasts that should be here, with sheep that are actually currently grazing in the Sauvignon Blanc. And what they do is they eat the weeds and the grasses that are naturally there in the vineyard, and they help fertilize the soil and re-energize the soil so those vines stay happy. Otherwise, we'd have to mow that grass, and that's just more mechanization. So we're doing it much more naturally, and we're having a far greater effect of turning those grasses and weeds into nutrients, which go through into the wine. And wine always tastes better when the vines are happy, and that's all part of the process.
And plus, the sheep are so cute.
They are cute.
They are dang cute.
We have probably 30 ewes and 30 little guys, lambs, I think they call them. And that you can go on our site. I think there's a few pictures on our website.
On our Instagram, all those spots.
Check them out. And I love having those animals in the vineyard.
I think honestly, it's the best day when they come back. Everybody's like, the sheep are here. We love them so much.
We're train this guy, Rowdy, to be a sheepdog.
Oh my gosh, I think she would just...
Doesn't seem too enamored at the idea
No,
right now.
I think she'd just sleep the whole time. We also couldn't put her in the vineyard because she would just eat all the grass and then just stay in one little spot. She wouldn't be very productive out there.
She is a sleepy girl.
Yeah. All right. Well, everybody,
say
round
bye
of
to
applause
Rowdy.
for Rowdy. Bye, everybody. She'll be around the winery some days. Oh, she's so cute.
Wow. There we go.
Well, that was a fun little...
Bringing you some puppy cuteness to this little video we're shooting. So
Save
next
this for
wine
later.
we have here, I'll present this. You've got the question.
Oh, yes.
2017. Again.
Oh, that was my part.
Oh,
This is the 2017 Walters Vineyard Pinot Noir from our estate. Okay, go.
Okay, good. Made from the Pommard clone of Pinot Noir. This wine is very juicy, got lots of rich, darker fruits than the other clone that we grow.
Because we have both 777 and Pommard, which are both Dijon clones.
They're not. The Pommard is a Pommard clone and a Dijon clone, but it's not really a Dijon clone. The only reason that we call them Dijon clones is that when they first came to this country, the postmark on the package that was when they arrived said Dijon, and that's how the people that were working in the laboratory or
What's a laboratory?
Did I say that wrong? Did I say
that wrong?
something?
I don't know where they came from, and here they are now.
When these cuttings arrived from Burgundy, France, Dijon was established, and that is how these are now called Dijon clones.
Allegedly.
Good.
Anyway.
What do you want to find for? So lots of rich lushness on the nose, blue fruits, dark fruits.
I mean, the color on it's absolutely beautiful.
Isn't it?
So this is from our Walters Vineyard. Like I said, has it always been Walters Vineyard?
This is the first the Pinot that we've ever planted on the estate, and it is named after the patriarch, Dr. Walter Bick, who sort of oversees the estate and loves building stuff.
Much stuff.
He does, and part of his legacy will be this beautiful wine that's made from a vineyard dedicated and named for him. And I love working with this vineyard too. We are on the far eastern fringes of the Russian River Valley, and what we get is we're at about 600 feet above sea level, and we get this beautiful morning sunlight kissing those vines, but just a few hundred feet below, there's deep fog, and that fog keeps the coldness in the valley for a longer time, which is also very, very good. But that ambient temperature that fog brings keeps our vines cold. We have the sunshine, which makes where we grow this fruit extraordinarily special. And it's a unique microclimate. There is no other vineyard in the Russian River Valley that has that same microclimate. The soil is, oddly enough, it's sandy. So at some point, the vineyard was a beach or something like that. And plate tectonics have moved and shifted we have a demonstration how that works, shifted the soils into different layers. And Sonoma County is particularly
layered,
rich in diverse soils. You can walk maybe 100 feet and then there's a different soil. And so over the millions of years, hundreds of thousands of years, these soils have created very, very special and unique places for growing grapes. Sonoma County is sort of like a hodgepodge of different soils, and in the sort of geology terms, it's affectionately known Rocky Road of soils. Rocky Road is an ice cream that has all sorts of different bits and textures in it.
I really hate Rocky Road ice cream too. It's like such an unpopular opinion.
Dampener, isn't it? So, but anyhow, so the idea get across here is that the soils are very, very complex, and even within this one vineyard, although it's sandy, has other layers of loam, which means much more organic material than just sand, and it has clay banks in there. I mean, there's all sorts going on underneath where those roots grow, which brings me to where the soil is and how important that is. And I've mentioned we farm organically, and the main reason to farm organically is that we're looking after those millions and millions of trillions of microbes in the soil, and their job is to break down the soil and feed the vines. And I won't get too deeply into it, but the vine sends messages to those microbes in the soil, and they feed that vine based on the message it gets. And if we have a healthy population of those microbes in the soil, then those vines get everything they need, and they grow special fruit, and that fruit will just sort of really be very distinctive of the place where the grape is grown, because of all those microbes bringing and sending those micronutrients to each vine. To give you an idea of how many microbes there are, a healthy acre of soil underneath where those vine systems grow is the equivalent weight of 2 elephants. So that's a lot of bugs. It's a lot of bugs. I don't have any proof on this, but it was somebody explained to me that they worked out that would be the weight of a healthy soil's microbe population.
Yeah, I think every time we've gone in the vineyard, you remind me every time of how many bugs are in the vineyards.
Oh, yeah,
and
you don't like the bugs, do you?
I hate the bugs, and we've done this every time. We still talk about the bugs. Oh,
bugs are important. I mean, the bug made this wine.
No, you made this wine.
No, the yeast made the wine, which is a little bug.
Well, then what do we have you here for?
To control the bugs.
The bug meister.
The bug meister. Like, a new name.
Take winemaker off of his business cards, put bug meister. I don't know why you guys still want us to come back and do these.
I do, because we're having fun. I'm going to try this Merlot. It's delicious, but it needs
I think this one's the spicy one.
We're going to try this one for now. And these are special cheeses and meats from friends of ours.
Valley Ford cheese and then Journeyman
meats. Yeah, both local Sonoma County producers of deliciousness.
I think Journeyman was a recommendation from you too.
Could be.
Probably.
Pete Sagacia from the Sagacia family is doing a knockdown job of really, really making some extraordinary flavors and creating these wonderful meads.
And it really takes time to do all of, and you can tell how much love they put into everything that they create. Because it's all really good.
Yeah. And then the food tastes good, and then you have a little wine. And that's when that special thing happens. When you're having wine, food and wine, there's virtually no other relationships that
the bugs just begin to sing.
And it's bugs that make the cheese and the meat too. I mean, we're in a bug world, girl. You got to get used to it.
It's a bug life.
Dan, can you tell us about your history with meats? What is that you have a...
Excuse me. Yeah, much to the horror of my parents, became a butcher's boy at 16 or 17, and fell in love with the food and the preparation and all the different things that were going on. And it's so, 30 years later, I'm still
That was
here.
being generous.
It was. Still every I'm preparing breakfast, I'm thinking about lunch. When I'm eating lunch, I'm thinking about supper. And that is what goes on. And somehow I found wine. And so I have this extraordinary world where not only do I think about the next meal, but I think about what wine is going to go. And when you join Paradise Ridge and have our wines, you can enjoy that experience too.
You too can enjoy that too. You too.
This is about as much fun as I'm allowed to have.
I know, especially, this is a fabulous time. Questions?
For a little cheese.
Okay.
There's some miming going on out back there. We're being orchestrated by 3 people who are sort of nearly falling
They're
over
telling
laughter.
us to calm down. It's just not fun. We're just trying to have a good time over here, you guys.
That's right. Yum, yum. All right, next one.
I suppose we should,
New glass.
saving this for later too.
Now we have. Oh, the bottle you talk.
No, we practice. I hold the bottle, you talk.
Okay, so 2015 Merlot, Sonoma County, from 2 vineyards. You can pour it now. From two different vineyards.
I'll go first.
Both managed by a good friend of mine, Alan Fopiano. One is in the Russian River, which is cooler, and the other from Dry Creek, which is warmer. That's good.
Sorry.
The cooler vineyard brings more natural acidity to the wine and more red fruits and more vibrance to the wine. The warmer Dry Creek vineyard, more lusciousness of fruit, more texture, more volume to the wine. So the two together
Big
create
glass.
harmony, and harmony in a big glass is good. And again, creating the balance in the wine is done first in the vineyard, and what I've been lucky enough to be able to do is create a balanced wine from using 2 different vineyards from 2 different climates to create one wine that is
amazing. I haven't had this wine in quite some time, and every
delicious.
time I'm pleasantly surprised, not pleasantly surprised, but
Merlot
just always a nice, delightful glass of wine every time.
Merlot was cursed in 2004.
The Sideways movie, right?
Yeah, by Paul Giamatti. I probably buggered that name up, but anyhow, you know the guy. Wonderful actor, but
You know who you
Merlot
are.
dived in popularity. But Merlot is still the most planted grape in France, and therefore one of the most consumed wines in France. A lot of those wines don't have Merlot on the label because they go through the origin of the wine or the creator of the wine as opposed to the grape. In America, we most of the time put the grape on the label, whereas in France, it very rarely reaches the label unless it goes to a European or a market where they'd like to see that grape varietally on the label. So Merlot is the champion of red wine in France, but is probably an unsung hero of great wines.
I feel like Merlot is making a comeback. I just feel like it's such an underrated wine. If I see a really nice Merlot on a menu or our Merlot, I'm always interested to try it because, I feel like there's a lot of really good Merlots out there that people just aren't open to trying, really.
And this being among them.
Yeah.
So today is a weekday, and that's kind of like a Merlot day. It really is. If you're having pizza, spaghetti, whatever it is, Merlot really works well. And this wine's got a couple of years of age on it, which has really softened and really given it a really nice texture, a deepness to that texture too, and flavor profile.
I feel like within the last couple of weeks, it's really kind of come to its own too. It's tasting really beautifully right now too.
I'd agree with that. And so I'm going to do a little taste test for you, little wine. Let those textures and flavors fill your senses. Pop in a little fromage. Let's cheese in French.
Bilingual.
I am.
I have a comment. Michelle says that the Merlot smells amazing and has a wonderful mouthfeel. And she also wants to know, this is a previous question, what main courses would pair well with the Pinot? Maybe we can answer that question for both the Pinot and the Merlot.
Well, we'll start with the Merlot. Just awesome, that piece of cheese. I think good, heartier dishes. So spaghetti bolognese, an Italian dish from a French grape made by an Englishman in America is great together.
I'm lost.
Well, we knew that, didn't we? So I think something like that is what you want to do. Pizza, you know.
If you're a
Red
frequent
sauce-
visitor,
red-
you
red-
know I love my pizza.
Red sauces, meats are all good will be good with this wine.
I feel like Pinot,
Deliciousness.
like lamb with.
Yes, we don't go too far into that journey.
No, especially since we just added sheep onto the properties. It was
Well,
distasteful.
the other part of it, and you know, we have to be quite honest here, is that we eat meat, and that animal needs to be fed. And the better environment that the animal is fed on, the better life that animal will have, and the better that animal will taste when it goes to market, once it leaves market. And so it's the full circle of life. And that lamb, when it's living here, only has one bad day in its life. The rest of them are pure heaven. That animal is living free range, eating everything it wants to eat. And then that day comes. And yum, yum. That's all I can really say. They're cute, they're wonderful, they do everything we want to do in the vineyard. They have the perfect life, and we eat them.
My favorite thing about having the sheep on the property is that if you like baa at them, they baa back. I don't know if you've tried that.
I have not.
You should try it. If you hear a girl screaming down at the portable office, it's me. I'm yelling at the sheep.
Wow.
And they're yelling back at me. We have
they're
nice
saying hi.
open communication.
That's wonderful.
I know. They're pretty cute.
It's good to have a bar girl.
I know. Baba black sheep.
And we do have black sheep.
Yeah, there are a lot of black sheep actually. I was kind of surprised.
I should mention it that we have this wonderful lady, Bronte Edwards, who we work with, whose company, Rainbow Grazing, Family Grazing, brings us our sheep. And so we don't own the sheep. They come and she moves them around, so we don't have to manage them. And we have the rainbow flock. So the flock looks like something Dr. Seuss could have created. We have brown sheep, we have black sheep, white sheep, and then polka dotted sheep, everything in between. And so these things are just extraordinary in the vineyard. And we're going to send you some more pictures because these guys are so wonderful to be in the vineyard. And it fills me with you know, this is one of my favorite achievements that I've done, is to have sheep in a vineyard and making the vines better, the wines better. Boom, it cannot get better than that. And we love it. I love it.
I love it.
And we hope
you love it.
That's right. And okay. Did we talk about the Merlot? We covered all the food aspects anyhow.
Oh, yeah.
This little chocolate almond. And this baby, I think it's going to go well. Pop that sucker there. So,
and I think these are milk chocolate almonds too. I don't know if it would make a difference between dark chocolate and milk chocolate.
It would.
But, well, I mean, it would make a difference, but I think that they both would pair very nicely.
What this does is it brings out sort of a mocha character in the wine. It sort of accentuates the fruit.
So does Merlot pair with dessert?
Merlot, you know, bring on the chocolate, baby.
Chocolate cake.
You know, but I think it would really go with a pie too, a rich fruit, a fruit pie. Did I say that? Pie.
Pie.
I learned the American version of pie.
Some fruit
and it's
pie. Pie either.
The bugs in the pie. Anyhow, we love pie. And
And we love
the Merlot
wine.
would be good with pie.
We love cheese.
And we love puppies.
And
We
puppies.
love puppies.
Can we have our special guest again, or
Can
is
we
she
have wine and
asleep?
puppies?
She's asleep,
It's cool.
folks.
You get the feedback there. The puppy's asleep.
Puppy's done so.
Oh, no. Well, hopefully you're not. And hopefully you
Well, you know,
are sharing
I've
a
got
glass of
plans
wine.
later, so I gotta get to those. But thank you guys again for tuning in. It's always a blast with you, Dan,
Yes.
and mostly the wine. But we'll see you guys again soon.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers!